Tiffany Jones.
And I'm Kelly Lewis.
And we're your revenue insiders, back for season 2.
Season 2. Oh my gosh, it's so happening.
Exciting. I know.
We announced the revenue insiders
a year ago.
A year ago. Next week will be a year.
Yeah, it's end of August right now. We're in Kelly's house recording.
Yes, we are. We're together.
One of our many studios.
Yes. We have some very exciting guests. We're not going to say their names just yet.
Yeah,
but
lots to talk about. We have to catch up.
Lots to talk about.
I've barely seen you, I feel like, the last few weeks. So we have to catch up.
Summer's been summering.
Crazy. Yeah.
If kids camp.
Parent. Yes. All the things. Yeah. The spreadsheets were spreadsheeting. Who needed to be where and what was their code and did they need lunch or not lunch? And oh yeah, by the way, all your kids are going in the lake today. We should have packed them bathing suits.
Yeah, that was our parent foul of the week. We sent our kids to sailing camp without swimsuits or towels.
Yeah.
Thinking they would be on a boat, but
no, the whole day capsizing.
They were capsizing all day.
All day, just capsizing.
So oops.
Yeah.
That's okay. This morning, only had one kid drop off and was back at my computer by 8:30. Most camps start at 9. Like, mad respect to all working parents. And so I was actually on my computer at 8:30 this morning. I felt so relaxed.
Yeah, you guys have been covering me. It's been wild busy for me the last few weeks. And so tomorrow is my duty to do camp drop off. So I will not be at my computer before 9:30. There'll be a lot of calls in the car with 4 children.
They've learned to be really good on the calls. Yeah. But it's been a good summer. Also, tons going on work-wise.
I know. Consulting has just exploded.
Yeah.
For you.
It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. I have been partnering with these amazing larger consulting firms who do these big projects. And I'm becoming in as the enablement expert, the sales leader, and having an absolute ball. I got to work on an amazing SKO.
Yeah, that was
went to Vegas. We did a huge playbook activation. I worked with an amazing team, had a blast. Have done a couple other projects here and there, and am back to kind of operating full time in this new consulting capacity. And it's been more than what I thought it was going to be in the best way possible.
Yeah. I feel like one of the things I've gotten to witness you do that I'm jealous of is you have access to so many more trends happening. You just have a pulse on what's new or what people are looking for, even just from working with those bigger firms and with the requests that are coming in. I like the stability of the role that I have. I'm not selling myself anywhere. Plenty of work for me to do.
You have plenty of work. I think you're working the most I've ever seen you work.
Maybe. But you have access to so much information. So I'm dying to know, because we haven't gotten to catch up on this. What trends are you, what are something interesting? What's happening?
I mean, everything of course is still AI focused. Everyone wants to talk about AI. There's definitely vendors in the space that are making a big splash. I feel like Clay comes up in almost every conversation. We have a guest coming on shortly who's going to talk about that in one of our future episodes, which will be great. Other things I'm just hearing a lot about is we got to rethink our ICP. We thought we knew what ICP meant. We thought we knew what our TAM meant, but oops, we actually need to rethink it now that we have access to data in the way we have access to data.
Oh, okay. So that is fascinating. I'm kicking off planning, right? Okay. I'm in, my traditional role. We have an end of January fiscal year. So this is the halfway point. Planning has officially kicked off and we are chatting ICP. You're always chatting ICP realistically, because it's always evolving, but we're chatting about it less from the angle you just mentioned and more from how do I get more focus to my sellers?
Yes.
Because they have so much noise from that information. Not that we know more about the accounts, but that we are, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's more that how can we get more precise in our TAM and what we're providing as target accounts to the sellers. So to your point, there isn't as much noise. And then of course, anything we can automate for a seller right now. I think the biggest gap that I'm seeing is everyone's scared of AI too, which they should be, and the security and making sure people are using AI correctly in confidential ways. And because of that, I see a lot of organizations that are just stuck. They can't use this great technology because they don't have a procurement process or an IT process to adopt adopt all of these amazing technologies. And my fear for a lot of them is they will fall behind because your competitors are trying to use AI as an advantage.
So putting on my cybersecurity hat.
Which you should.
I think the bigger concern with that, I was just talking to someone about this today, actually, isn't that, I mean, yes, I think that they'll fall behind, and like that's if you are not enabling AI tools for your sellers right now, they are putting all of your company information in ChatGPT.
100%.
In an unsecured ChatGPT.
Yep.
Your attack surface, as we call it on the cybersecurity side, like all of the areas that someone can go get your information that you think is confidential and proprietary, your sales playbooks and your motions is all going to be out there for someone to hack and find, because it's just out in an open source environment, training models. And so that to me is the bigger like risk to people, is that data isn't as confidential as they thought it was.
Yeah, the amount of times I hear just in networking and conversations at conference floors of, oh, I have to do that on my personal computer. I'm like, oh, it makes me nervous. But I get it, because they know that they are spending extra time doing things that they should be doing via AI, and they're just not being enabled in the way to do that internally.
Salespeople you find the path of least resistance, like
guilty always. I mean, I'm not putting things into AI. I shouldn't be, but
who isn't though? Like that's how you navigate life. Like the path of least resistance for getting your kids in camp, or getting them to a drop off, or feeding them dinner outside so they don't interrupt a podcast. Like you have to find the path of least resistance. Like that's how we survive. And so I don't think you can fault. I mean, like, they need more education and awareness of like what they're doing and
the risks associated with it, for sure.
But I think you have to recognize that this is just here, and you have to find a way to deal with it.
Absolutely.
So AI is everywhere, and you need to be on top of it, but it's showing up in planning too. We talked about this I feel like really proud about this prediction, because it is 100% true. I cannot get away from a board meeting without talking about AI and its effects on productivity. And so I'm in the beginning of planning right now. We are full in planning season, and it is a different game. Like we talked about like the ICP changes and like the focus there, but it is a crunch to figure out like how to do more with less. And that doesn't mean less people or less resources, but less accounts or less. Like, do you need a broad tool stack? Like, that's a big question. Like, what should we be spending money on AI? So what else should we not be spending money on? Like, it's been an interesting kickoff to the planning cycle. And I have a feeling it's probably similar for a lot of people. We'll talk about this in a minute, but like the job trends across the board, like indicate that this is something that probably everyone is starting to deal with this year. Yeah,
I have talked to so many individuals, regardless of level. You could be a frontline manager, you could be an executive, but I mean, we all remember the Shopify email that came out from their CEO saying like, you better be thinking about if your job's replaceable, what can you replace with AI? And frontline managers are suddenly being asked this question, like, do you want this tool or do you want another person? You're having to make a choice. Or if you want this tool, how are you going to eliminate headcount? And it's a really tricky situation to navigate as a first-time leader, for sure. But it's even tricky to navigate all the way up throughout the organization. And I do think over time, those discussions will be somewhat normalized, but they're still scary in a reality.
We've been framing it as we kicked off planning specific for my organization as what are the things that our team is doing that you would never put on a resume? Those are the things that we want AI to take over. Like, I'm not looking to take over XYZ person that sits in this role and that role to be AI, but like, what are all the things that are current roles and responsibilities, and what are the things that don't belong on your resume? Like they aren't going to help anyone. You're never going to say, I solved 3,000 Salesforce cases last year. Like that's just not a stat that belongs on your resume. So like, how do I solve more Salesforce cases for my team so that they can do other things that are things that elevate them in their careers and are bullet points for their resume?
One thing we talked about when it came to annual planning was the difference between companies who had a PMO office and someone to manage their annual planning process and companies that don't, and how I was such a big believer in that. I do think a lot of these tools, the Mondays.com, the Notions, the Asanas, the Airtables, are coming out with a lot of ways to automate these reminders and the syncs. And so you still have to manually set it up. You could probably use a GPT to set that up as well. But I do think some of that really manual annual planning process can be automated, which is exciting.
Yeah. I mean, all of it, like any automation, I don't think AI is different here, like requires the right input to get the right output. And so like, you can't automate something you're not, like the rest of the team isn't putting in. It's where like project managers like hound people to do the inputs. And that's where like, I don't know that an agent will get the same emotional response as someone like calling you and being like, UTF Kelly, like fill out your Monday board updates now. So yeah, we still don't have a PMO. I have a bestie at work and he's on the planning team, but you know who you are, and leading the charge. I'm part of the core team. And so I think it'll be good this year. I'm excited. We had a lot of learnings last year.
Yeah.
I'm going to take them all.
Good.
Yeah.
Excited to hear them all.
Okay. Do we miss any of your trends?
The only other trend that I'm seeing that's just coming up with every client or prospect I'm talking to is continued to be around post sales. So organizations are really rethinking their post sales strategy from what can we automate using AI, but how can we just make these teams stronger? I think for so long we were so focused on new sales, and the skill set and the development of our post sales teams are top of mind right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I think that that's something we've talked about internally. You're not seeing as many multi-year deals being signed across the board. And so the retention element is even more important in that relationship side. And I think it goes back to like a similar concept of the bullet points on your resume. Like you want your people being people. And so how do you take the things off that aren't value add, except they build the robust like data or things that they need to do to make the customer happy, but like they're not the people side of it.
Yeah. And then from an enablement perspective, because that's my area of discipline, everyone is really focused in enablements changing in the best way possible. We're finally treating sellers like adult learners.
Yeah.
Long gone are the days of sitting in a classroom for
Yes.
hours at a time and just like listening to people
toys
fidget toys and listening to people speak at you. Guys being adopted in great ways around role play, SMS, enablement. The role of the instructional designer is going through an amazing transformation. I was just talking to an instructional designer who, when I got on the phone with her, I was like, oh, is she going to be nervous? But she was actually really excited because her role is changing in this more strategic direction.
Yeah.
She's taking it on full force. So from an enablement perspective, I just think it's a really cool opportunity. And it's one of the areas of go-to-market that I feel like are adopting AI in the best way.
Yeah. No, I totally think that's true. I think the other thing that we can get into is the glaring thing we haven't talked about is like the job market right now.
Yeah.
Which kind of plays into that, and like where there's a lot of excitement and like people's roles are evolving. We're seeing layoffs, and where we sit today, like Microsoft just kind of announced and went through the process of a performance-based, I don't even know exactly what they're calling it, but there's no severance. They're just trimming people who haven't been performing. And it's a radical shift to the layoffs we've seen over like the 5 years of like post-COVID. And I think like the dynamics of how people are designing jobs are changing. And it just feels like it's a different market than it was 6 months ago.
Yeah, I think so. I love a performance-based layoff if it's done in the right way. And my biggest concern is a lot of managers, leaders, don't know how to provide equitable feedback. How do you make sure that one person is being fairly judged against another person?
Yeah.
It makes me nervous.
I think that there's that element of it. And I think that I would rather the layoff be performance-based. You're not just cutting first in, first out, or trimming for the fact to trim. I do think that there's some merit in that, but I think it's the lazy way out. Like you just ended up with a lot of bloat at your company because you had managers who weren't properly enabled on how to give feedback or how to support or coach their team in both positive and negative ways. And so now they're just hanging on to people because they have the budget and they don't need to do anything about it. And
agreed with that. And in that world, you can do these big moments once, but if you continue to do them every 6 months, it means that you have a leadership issue, doesn't know how to provide feedback, doesn't know how to manage correctly, doesn't know how to hire correctly.
Yeah. And then you're laying off the wrong layer of your business. It's your managers that aren't performing.
And the only risk I see when companies do these as repeated exercises is, as a manager, you can just wait till the next round versus taking action and providing the feedback in the moment. And if you want to be great, not good, you want to be great, you want to be amazing, you've got to have the best team and you have to make those decisions pretty quickly.
Yeah. So one of the things that you've been doing in addition to consulting is coaching.
Yes.
And so has this come up in any of your coaching conversations that you've had?
Yeah. So yes, I started coaching. I'm doing.
Kelly's a jack of all trades, guys. She's doing everything.
It's been so fun. Thank you for everyone who reached out. I announced that I was coaching 2 weeks ago, and I think I had over 25 people reach out.
Great.
So I've got my first cohort going through, and the thing that's so interesting and the feedback I'm getting is very rarely do I find career coaches that are discipline specific.
Like enablement.
Yes, like enablement.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm doing specifically enablement coaching. And I think there's a whole world of this. There are excellent leadership coaches out there. And oftentimes in your career, that's what you need.
That's what you end up getting. Yeah.
But in this job market where things are moving so quickly, you're trying to grow, you maybe been told you're not strategic and you want to be strategic. It's this amazing opportunity for those of us who have been there and done that to give back. But also, I think it's an opportunity for those frontline leaders who want to just gain experience to mentor the next generation too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that that's really cool. And I think the disciplinary specific coaching is, I think that you'll see more of that because of this evolution of a lot of these roles and people really honing in on the skills they actually need for the business that they're running and doing these types of performance-based layoffs or like restructuring type conversations. I think there's going to be more evolutions. Like you're hearing the term go-to-market engineer now.
Yeah.
And so
we'll be talking about that in one of our future episodes.
We're planting some seeds. But yeah, I mean, how do you navigate if you've never been in that role, if you're the right fit for it, or how do you like apply your skills? Like there's so much to go tap into.
There was an article and I wish I could remember where I saw it, but it was about people aren't quiet quitting anymore. They're quiet burning out.
Quiet breaking.
Breaking, yes.
Yeah, I saw it on LinkedIn as well. And I forget who the author was. We'll have to post it when we post the episode. Yeah. We'll tag the article. But yeah, quiet breaking.
And I think it's true. People are so scared to go look for a new job, or they are looking for a new job, but it's taking so much longer than it used to take.
Yeah.
But to stay in their current job, they have to work so hard. So they're breaking in the process. And I think we have people that are ready to move on to their new thing and are just in roles that they're not happy with.
Yeah.
And I really hope the market can open up again, because I think it's best for economy and also just best for all of these companies that have individuals that are ready to move on.
Yeah. I think that we will have another like flourishment of ideas and innovation when that does open back up, because people, when you're stuck around, no matter how smart or innovative you are, when you're around the same people all the time and like you are not swapping people, you don't have to leave. But like if no one around you is swapping in and out, or you are not putting yourself in different environments or in different conversations, then how are you going to have new ideas? Like at some point, like it's the like definition of insanity. It's like doing the same thing over and over again, right? So like the quiet breaking makes sense. And I think that as a whole, like not just the economy, but like the innovation is going to be a lot healthier when we see that like disrupt. It almost feels like a volcano that's like,
I know. Yeah. And there were some exciting things that happened in the market.
Yes.
So we saw Figma.
IPO.
We got an IPO, people.
I love a Figma and I love an IPO.
Yeah. Me too. So I think that's exciting. It's one. We need like 50 more of them to really show that things are moving in the right direction. But it was one. We saw the Sales Loft,
Clary
Sales Loft merger.
That was a whole thing.
I feel like I saw that one coming for a while.
Yeah. I mean, we knew the space was starting to collapse on itself. And so it was a question of just exactly who and how. And so, I think that is super interesting. Even like, what would you call that space? Like revenue orchestration is, I think, the term. But I'm now seeing other revenue orchestrations that are just all AI, and they're not even in the same, like it's none of the bones that a Sales Loft or a Clary, like they're bones with AI things on top. Like there are pure AI plays now in revenue orchestration. So that technology space is evolving even faster than it's crazy.
I feel like I've caught myself in so many conversations recently where I'll say revenue orchestration, sales engagement, whatever the tool is and the category is. And we have to pause and realign on what that definition is just in the conversation, because people are merging and acquiring and new players are popping up. And what once meant revenue orchestration means something completely different today.
Yes, it's totally true. Okay, I'm looking at our notes. We have hinted at a lot of things coming for season 2 already, but there's so much more. I'm so excited for this season. I feel like I don't want to say we winged it in season 1, but like our goal was to share our knowledge and other people's knowledge in our network. And I think we've been much more intentional about what we want to share when we're planning season 2. So I'm really excited for some of this stuff. We did launch season 1 a year ago with a Dreamforce episode. And Dreamforce is back. It's we will be there.
Yes.
And we'll definitely have episodes talking about all things Dreamforce. So I'm excited for that.
Yes. The Revenue Insiders are headed to Dreamforce. We will be there. We are hosting thought leadership dinners. If you would like a spot at one of these dinners, go to our website. There's a form to fill out. They are invite only dinners. Would love any of our listeners who are attending to be there in person. Yeah. We've got some great sponsors for these.
They're all going to be small space stuff. It's not like a big informal thing. And so we definitely, it'll be like us getting to meet you and talk to you as well, which we're really excited about. But we have some really great content planned for them as well.
The ones we've had so far have gone so deep into conversation. Everyone walks away excited. Everyone's learned something new. To feel like a typical vendor dinner. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it'll be a good break amongst all the parties.
So yes, if you are coming, please find us. Tiffany's also going to be speaking at Dreamforce.
I'll give more details on when and where, hopefully when we do that episode, as we find out more. So yeah, you can catch me speaking. But we have more than that planned. What else is on our season 2 list?
We're going to talk about go-to-market engineering.
Yeah. We have some guests. I think we're going to talk more about balancing work-life balance, not just moms, dads, parents as a whole. Those are going to be some fun episodes and what it's like to work this much around small kids, because it's a choice.
It is a choice.
But they are part of that decision. We're going to have guests that we talk about things like how MedPick is evolving in the current landscape and how AI is impacting how you think about messaging right now. So we're never going to escape AI. I think it'll wind its way into every episode.
You'll hear it.
Yeah.
But exciting stuff. We are on a weekly basis. I know that we switched halfway through last season from bi-weekly to every week. So we are every week, we are excited to have you all as listeners. Thank you for your support.
Yes, please follow us on any of the podcasts. Review us for 5 stars. We love that.
Yes.
It helps us reach more people. And follow us on all your socials as well. We've got lots of great content coming. We've been working on that all summer.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.